Having a map, it's like having an eye of the universe. Rather than just looking from the ground, you can see word from the sky, from the universe. By having an eye of the universe, you can see the whole world and make a different choice than seeing things from the ground. Human has mapped almost everything in this world, and even outside this world too, like outer space. And countries has always used those maps to help them make good choices, especially to dominate and control, or in a simple word, having a superiority over the domain. So international relations has always been very interested with maps. We always think map is something like you can see and touch. But how about we map something that you cannot touch, like cyberspace? So we start from the ground up. With the Cyberspace Map, we wanted to build a map with a new approach, without compromise with the elements of lines, borders, and variables inside of the common map. Inside cyberspace, there are so many amazing things, and they can grow unlimitedly. Since its very existence in 1970s, cyberspace has grown from just green text lines on the screen until a near reality simulation from your computers. Look at this growth graph. This is a growth of big data since 2003. The growth is following the geometric exponential growth formula with an n 1 per 3. It means every 3 years the data inside internet is growing 3 times bigger. So internet is going bigger and bigger. And it is unlikely impossible to draw a map of world which expands unlimitedly with the old approach. So how do we map it? We've reviewed about 153 books and carefully selected them. We started by asking what makes a cyberspace a space. James Derderian explained 3 elements inside space: speed, surveillance, and simulations. He wrote it 20 years ago. And today, we proudly introduce you new element: storage. It started with the innovations cloud computing in 2008 and opened a new way to use cyberspace as a space to store all your files safely and more confidently. In order to help increasing speed, surveillance, simulations, and storage, we need great infrastructures. All these 4 elements are really dependent on 3 infrastructures: fiber optic cables, satellite, and computers. Particularly for computers, we will see many kinds of forms. Start with personal computers, servers, laptops, smartphones, and tablets, and even in watch and glass soon enough. All innovations in infrastructures level will enhance so much the basic elements inside cyberspace. With all these inventions, innovations, and revolutionary technology, what will it do to the people? As you may notice, in these years, there are many conflicts influenced by social networks, and the government's response are various, starting with shutting down internet and building firewalls. But conflicts was never done. Why? Because government doesn't have a clear map in cyberspace. So this paper is offering an idea to map variables inside cyberspace based on 3 layers: cognitive, which is a basic understanding cyberspace; infrastructures, the supporting cyberspace sectors; and the last, public layers, where cyberspace play their role as information producers and even distributors. In these recent years, we saw many of these posts contain text, image, and videos. They bring values and ideology that convince us to believe in their information. And it always works for many of us. You can see many movements to support one community of the conflicts, especially those who fight for democracy ideology. The movement group who support the democracy ideology, like news editorial, universities, religious group, etc., is what Althusser called ISA, ideological state apparatus, and they always oppress any organization who has opposite ideology with them. As a result, any country who has opposite ideology on democracy with that ISA will be framed as an enemy of freedom. And so, the ISA will try to influence the public on that country to fight for freedom. And it will be a problem for the country or even for his international relations inside international organizations. So, with this cyberspace map, you can see variables that makes how a country can fall because of having no clear view inside cyberspace. And it really helps the government to understand the people's demand based on informations inside cyberspace. Hopefully, with the cyberspace map, a government can have a better understanding of what and how the information flow inside cyberspace can strengthen the country's stability, having a cyber superiority.